Good evening. Happy Monday. Welcome to the Stephen Knight Show. Hope you're having a great one. We're going to try our best to make it even better tonight. Tonight, we're breaking down all the hot topics everyone's talking about. We're discussing how Elon Musk and his D.O.G.E department may impact your personal information and tax returns. Also, Jay-Z is reacting to the case against him and Diddy being dropped. And Wendy Williams reunites with her son after her claims that he mishandled her money. Then later on the show, Gary Washington, his son was falsely arrested on 9 felony charges. Gary paid over $500,000 help him clear his name. After the charges were dropped, he is not entitled to getting any of his money back. He shares his story to help others. So find more about that story later on in the show. But remind you all over social media. We're on Facebook, Blue Sky, and of course our YouTube channel where you'd rather watch us. Please subscribe, comment, and share. We definitely appreciate you. As you know, Linnea and Chike, they are out. But Shaq is back from Let's Be Clear podcast, back to give his knowledge and his info. And so welcome back, Shaq. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And Brittany, shout out to you as always, because everybody thinks you're so funny. Well, this is Black History Month. So tonight we're highlighting Mary Bowser. Now, she was born into slavery. Her name was Mary J. Richards Bowser. She's believed to have served as a spy in the Union in Richmond during the Civil War. After the war, she taught at several free men's borough schools in Washington and in Georgia. So again, that's Mary Bowser, and Richmond, that's where I'm from. So we'll keep giving y'all Black history. How y'all feeling tonight? Y'all feeling good?
Yeah, I'm good.
I feel great. I had a good weekend. It was a good week. It was very eventful.
Really? Valentine's Day?
I had a Galentine's with my girlfriend.
Valentine, okay.
Oh, Galentine. That's been a trending thing. I see Galentine's.
Yes, and so we had a really good one. And then I had a kid's birthday party I had to go to, then a girlfriend. Everybody seems to be born in February. All these February babies.
Yeah. I had two of my family, 2 Aquarius. My brother and my mom's birthday was this month, and our uncle. So
yeah.
Aquarius.
It was funny. I saw someone saying that they're all for friendships, but leave Valentine's Day to the lovers. I'm thinking people should do what they want to do. Because you said you had a great time, right?
Let me tell you, I be feeling like the men just be there for like procreation, but my soulmates be my girls. You know what I mean? Like those are my soulmates. And the men we just need, for whatever. But
for extracurricular activity.
That's for the Stephen Knight Show after dark.
Right. Well, listen, our question today, check out this scenario. A woman questions if she's wrong for refusing to share $20,000 inheritance with her husband because he didn't like the person it came from. Is she right or is she wrong, Brittany?
Why you ask me first? Because I need more, you know me, I'm a very detailed person. When you ask me a question, I need to know what they was wearing, who, like, I need to know all the details to make an informed decision. So, I got so many extra questions. Am I wrong? Like, what you mean it didn't like the person? Like, what they got to do with the money? Like, where it was coming from?
Yeah, they left the money to this woman, but her husband didn't like him in the first place. Like he or she in the first place, should he get half of the money?
What they got to do with the money? Like, he ain't killed the person or nothing? Like, I don't understand. Like, no, I do think I don't know about half. Like, what are we doing here? Why does he need half right now? Like, can we pay it towards like the mortgage or something? Like, pay the house off? Can we put it towards a joint bill or something like that? Why are we splitting it like that? Like, they already shouldn't even be married. They operating too individually for me.
What about you, Shaq? What you think?
You got good points, Brittany, because I'm sitting here like, let's just say I wouldn't see a problem with it. For me, and maybe that's the cancer in me, I would just be like, okay, well, when I come up on this little sum of my own, then, it's going to be for me. Like, you're not getting into this. So it may just be one of those marital things where it's like they are operating a little individual. But, I mean, hey, if I ain't like the person, I'm not going to be duplicitous in the situation. If I don't like them, I don't like them. I don't want them from them. or him, her, whoever the person is from. So
Yeah, like to Shaq's point, if I don't rock with him as my husband, you don't rock with him. Like we both, like if I don't, like we
But they
move
left,
as
but
a
they left you that
team.
they left you that 20K.
and
Yeah,
see,
I don't know.
yeah, for me, all they go out the window. Just this hard times, baby. Just get the money, chill
Pay the
out.
house out. Pay the kids college tuition. Do
I mean,
something.
whatever. If they, especially if they married, whatever's mine is yours, yours is mine. So like, whatever you for the payoff, whatever you for to do with it, for the benefit of me, more than likely.
Yeah.
If you come up with some, if I see some bags and some new, you looking a little different, you poking out in places that you didn't
You
really
know, when
poke
you
out
got
there
a
before.
BBL, they got a
Right now, we
BBL.
got a problem. Now, why you being stupid with the money? But other than that, I mean, let her have it. Just gonna trust that she gonna do whatever she need to do with the money, with the inheritance. I
I
wouldn't care.
personally, I personally think it's her money, and naturally she'll spend some of it on him because they're a couple, they're married. You know what I mean? To the
Right.
household and different things they could pay off debt, whatever the case may be. But it's her money. It's her money. That's like you getting a raise, you getting a bonus at your job. Are we splitting your bonus? You know what I mean?
That's different. That's different.
It's your family. It's not his family.
But we don't know where it's coming from. You just said a 20K
I
inheritance.
said, oh yeah. Yeah, I did.
Well, somebody they didn't like, so I'm like,
Yeah.
I do that.
I
Do
assumed
sound,
it was family. I assumed it was family, but
It
you're right.
could be an ex. It could be a baby daddy. It could be.
Yeah.
Let me tell
is
you,
this question based on a real story?
I heard
That's
this.
something I saw.
This
Yeah, I'm
woman
gonna have to
got an
look that up. I need more
inheritance from her
details.
ex-husband who forgot to change his beneficiaries.
Yeah.
Like they was no longer together. He had moved on. She moved on, and she ended up getting his life insurance policy that a lump sum because he forgot to change his beneficiaries.
Yep.
So it could happen from anybody. That's why I'm like, I need more detail.
Well, let us know on X. Is the woman right or wrong? Should she keep the money? Should she share with her husband? Stephen Knight Show, SHO. All right. Well, listen, a Delta plane flying in Toronto today flipped upside down during a crash landing. According to reports, all passengers and crew have been accounted for. I believe there were 80 of them. There was 76 passengers and 4 crew members. But the local police say there were injuries. I heard there was a young child who was really hurt, but everyone so far has survived. The question is, with all these, there's been 7 domestic plane crashes since the Trump administration, and I'm just saying that from a time frame. A lot of people are, say that he fired the people from the FAA. Are you scared to fly? Are you comfortable flying? I mean, think about all the flights that take off every day and seeing with no issues. They did say that with this plane, the fact that it did survive and people weren't killed shows that they made the plane correctly. Apparently they think it might have slipped on some ice or something because the area had a lot of snow. But what are your thoughts, Shaq?
It don't matter. It don't matter. Like what? Like the way that they're trying to sane wash and make plane crashes normal.
Right.
It's like so. It's to me. It's a type of display of having fear. And naturally, you're gonna be a little more, cautious about flying and having a second thought. I don't think that I'm there yet, but depending on the flight, where I'm going, I might have to, look into some things. It is a little unsettling. I think we should be a little more cautious. Honestly, we've seen the airport though just become unravel in these past couple of years. Like
Yeah.
from people just being out of conduct in the airports. Usually people
Especially
have
after
like a
COVID.
sense after COVID, right? People used to have like a sense of decorum when you're in an airport, because nobody want to be put on a no-fly list.
Right.
But ever since it's almost like something activated as soon as he was announced president. Like the amount of crashes and malfunctions, we actually started seeing some of that too. Like right before he got elected, like planes just started malfunctioning and just weird disappearance, things getting off tracks. So it's just like it's very unsettling. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that, people are not as trained as they used to be as well. when you're looking at, I think somebody just got arrested too for drinking. And he
Oh
was
yeah, that pilot
doing,
that
you know,
was
the
inebriated.
pilot was drinking, right? So there's just a lot of like, I don't know. There's like the checks and balances are a little bit off. I do think, the Trump and how he's handling this situation has a lot to do with that. And I'm not just saying that people don't care. I do think that there's, what we're seeing is, I don't want it to scare people, but naturally it will. And I think there's something behind that, like really, truly, because it's just out of nowhere now that planes are just doing all of this.
Mm-hmm. Brittany, what are your thoughts? Does this give you a pause to fly, or what are your thoughts?
Does give me pause to fly, because it's just like I saw on Instagram somebody was like, my bike would never. And that's really what you be people out here driving now and stuff like that. The airport has become the Greyhound bus. It's so ghetto. It be so much going on. I don't even want to be in the airport. Like I be
Mm-hmm.
like, put me in another room from them crazy people. They be fighting the flight attendants coming off of the tarmac. It's too much. It ruins
Yeah.
my anxiety. Then the plane crash in Atlanta trying to take off in a storm. It felt like all these pilots got their license during the pandemic virtually and didn't do right. And then even before Trump got in office, bolts were missing on planes. They didn't know how
Yeah.
to build the plane. The window was
Boeing.
ripping off.
Yeah.
Like it was just a whole thing. The whistleblower came. So for me right now, I'm either holding off on traveling, like it just needs to come to a point where it settles, because it's just
Yeah.
too chaotic. And I do think that, like, even to the point where the pilot took off in the middle of the storm on Sunday morning, like, y'all think y'all can fly in these turbulences and y'all think y'all know what y'all doing, and you don't. Like, there is no guarantee. Like, I'm recognizing that these pilots are taking heftier chances with people's lives, and I just don't feel like it's worth it. It's nothing to cancel and reschedule a flight. I know that Delta cut all that flack for doing that thing, but I think we need to go back to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I'm planning a trip for my birthday next month, and I had one of my friends said, I'm driving.
Where y'all going?
Nashville.
Oh,
Oh
that's
yeah,
not
y'all can drive.
You should
I don't
not
have
That's
to
gonna
buy
drive.
be a
my
nice
ticket.
little.
I don't have
That
to buy my ticket, but I'm like,
you could. That's a nice little.
It's
3 hours.
scenic.
No,
Scenic.
that's a nice little. Get a bus or some type of
Right.
thing. That's a nice little travel up the road and stuff
Get a
like
little
that. Y'all
thriller.
ain't even got to
Oh,
drive for real.
get the see-through buses with the stripper pole.
But no, seriously, do you think that it got something to do with like, um, because there's a lot of like missteps. I feel like there's been so much, and the previous administration did what they had to do. One can say that it was mishandled, which I think it was for the most. Well, I think as far as like the next, election of being nominated for this last term, should have been announced quicker that he wasn't going to run. But I think the Biden administration has so much to do, and there was like these, the prioritizing what's important just kind of fell by the wayside. Because this is something, again, that we mentioned it that, if you hear one or two planes, okay. But if you're seeing several planes that are having
7 in a month.
malfunctions,
Yeah.
even before this, there were like so many malfunctions. It's like, okay, where's the check and balances? Where's somebody's gonna address this and say, hey, we take this serious, people fly in and out every day. So even one plane is
Right.
enough. But if you have several, it's just like, okay, where's someone to come in and be like, we got this under control, and let people know, hey, we're aware of this and we're working to get
Being
this
addressed.
and let people's anxiety and fears go down about flying, because how are we supposed to
Because
get
even with
flying
the
upon you?
whistleblower, it felt like nothing happened. He
Yeah.
blew the whistle, said something, and still they were like,
Oh, and they said they wasn't. They didn't they discredit him or something.
or fight or retaliated or something happened.
So
Yeah.
But it was
basically, I don't want to be no conspiracies, but
left it on
it's
the table.
let the dots connect, and now here we are with all these plane crashes. It's just like,
Population control. We overpopulated anyway.
Don't say that.
don't say that.
And we either trying to get to Mars or they just gonna kill us
No.
out.
Next stories. I'm gonna combine the next two stories that are very much related, but this is about according to AP News, the IRS is planning to lay off thousands of probationary workers, and with the cuts potentially beginning as early as next week. Sources familiar with the agency plans revealed. Now, the layoffs follow a visit from a representative of Elon Musk's Department of Government and Efficiency, who reviewed the IRS's technology and auditing processes as part of a federal cost-cutting effort. These cuts are part of Trump administration's broader effort to reduce the government spending by shrinking the federal workforce. IRS employees involved in the current tax season were also barred from participating in a buyout program previously offered by the Trump administration, which would allow them to resign while continuing to collect a paycheck through September. Now, with over 140 million tax returns expected this season, it remains unclear how widespread layoffs will impact the filings. Also, the DOGE department is making a push to gain access to IRS system that holds financial records of all taxpayers, businesses, and nonprofits in the U.S. According to the Washington Post, DOGE is seeking access to a classified database containing millions of Americans' private financial information. If approved, the request would grant DOGE officials access to IRS systems, properties, databases, including the integrated data retrieval system, which allows access to individual taxpayers' accounts, PIN numbers, and banks. Now, the request comes after it was reported again that 15,000 IRS employees are being laid off. So Elon Musk was not nominated for nothing. He wasn't elected to do anything. Why does he need access to all of our tax records, our bank accounts, etc.? And why are they getting rid of so many federal employees specifically, but also the IRS during tax season? Start with you, Brittany. What are your thoughts?
I have so much to say. Why did you come to me first? Shaq, you're going to have to give me a second so I can get all my books. Okay. Okay. Like, number one, they said that JD Vance somewhere locked in the basement of the White House. Like, we ain't heard from him, seen him. Elon is the real VP. Like, somebody, like,
they basically overseas making a fool of him
and gave it to Elon Musk. Like, it's amazing. Because, I mean, we ain't heard from that man since. But, and it was so funny because that was their biggest issue with Kamala. But I digress. Nonetheless, let's move on to point number 2. Okay, so we have to decrease the size of the government, right? That's his policy, or that's what he ran on, right? Because they feel like the government was spending too much money on people's salaries that were not effective. Now, mind you, I'm not fully liberal or conservative. I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle as a moderate, right?
Right.
So I can understand the mission, but I think the way you execute it is wrong. I don't feel like you come in there and just disrupt everything. You decrease Section 8, or you applied all kind of policies to Section 8 and federal funding and assistance programs to people, and now you're laying off government people and without their jobs. And I have girlfriends that work at the CDC. What I heard was that managers were requested to submit employees to, like, ranked based on performance and stuff in their roles, and how they would like to see their departments decrease. Like, basically, these people should be laid off based on their performance first, down to kept, right? Let's say it was done like that. And then, effective immediately, we're laying off these people based on their data hire. So everybody 2 years and under was let go of the CDC last week.
Wow.
Affected out of nowhere. People were scared because based on their contract, determined when they were in probation period. So some people were out of probation after a year. Some people weren't out of probation until after 2 years. Some people transferred from one role to another role, which started their probationary period over. And then those got affected and let go. And I just feel like these are playing with people's livelihood. So I feel like to come into an office, even as like a corporate office, right? I do feel like in leadership, there is a way about going about observing a work culture and then doing the change, right? And I just think the way he's doing it is too abrasive, and it's affecting people's lives. And then you're saying that once they're fired, you can't get financial assistance because of all of this other stuff. So it's just like, where do we go?
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, my next issue is with the Democrat Party. I feel like if this man get to go in there and show his ass, why do we have to rise above and have class? Next time we get the house back, I want y'all to show y'all ass. Like, so I want y'all to go just as low as he went and do what y'all need to do. Now, I understand about having decorum for the position. It is the highest title of the nation. But I feel like that's not fair. I want somebody in the Democrat Party to grab their balls and do the same thing he doing.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And that's been a lot of the feedback from Democrats who they want out of their leaders. They want them to start playing hardball against them. I did see they were talking about filing articles of impeachment for Trump, but the Democrat representative said we won't get any Republicans to support this, so it wouldn't do anything. It was one of your points. Yeah, one of your points. They were saying that the budgets that he is cutting, those aren't even the ones that are that significant to our debt. They said there are other ones that are way more significant that would really, really decrease the amount of spending that's happening in the government, and he's not even touching those. So it's like he's just picking. It's like a revenge tour. You know what I mean? Department of Education, Department of Justice. And again, he's letting go of people that have never been fired by any president.
It's no logic to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's no that's why I said they were asked to submit one list and then only to be told effective immediately. Like, you just don't know if you're gonna go into work tomorrow and then somebody else just pick it. And there's nothing that managers can do. People are stressed out. And I just don't feel like that's how you run a country. We are not. In my mind, I don't feel like a country should be ran like a corporation. And that's really how it's feeling. People that I have heard that work for the government are feeling micromanaged. They don't know if they go in today. They get emails every day. Every day something new. And it's just like they were told they had till April to come into the office full time and that managers had to be in the work by February. Now they say managers effective immediately and they have to be in the work by March. Like, it's just like every day is new information.
Something different. Yeah. It's chaos. It's chaos. Shaq, what are your thoughts on all this?
I think Elon is trying to just, get rid of money. I think it's all greed at the end of the day. What Brittany described is just structural greed. Just wanted to, just break it down and make it make sense again, just the same wash. That's how I look at it. I think that Elon had a lot of violations in several different departments of these departments. And I think that part of his it's multifaceted to me, even going back to the DEI, things, that's is racist. It is, trying to cut all of these fundings just for a bigger tax cut, for his own self-righteous thing. I don't know, it's kind of hard to grasp if you really think about, how they're doing this, and it's been less than a month,
Right.
and so just all of these other things that were promised to during this campaign, I think that there's no outrage for that, and we can't, like she said, as far as the Democratic, if you're a Democrat or liberal, whatever, even if you're a Republican, like whatever he promised you during this campaign, it's like why are they not outraged and loud about it as well? So I think that people are just highly distracted about the wrong thing. And then we have this social media outcry where people feel like they're being heard and seen. And you look at who supports, Trump. You got everybody that's over social media that's supporting Trump. You know what I mean? So you really have to be conscious and aware about some of these things. Like, okay, even if I do put some information out there and I want to make changes, it being filtered, how is this information coming to us? So it's just really kind of scary in a way, of how far this is going to go. But I think it just kind of goes back to greed at the end of the day, because you thinking about him and what was one of the departments having, if going back to what you were saying, if you want to talk about really looking into some things and cutting, what was the department that could never pass audit?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
not the self-defense, but what is it? If it's efficiency, it's one of them that has not passed an audit. They never pass audit. Basically, they can't see where the money is going. And so instead of just pouring into that, they're looking at other things where you don't really need to be cutting. You really need to be pouring into it because I mean, the Department of Education, y'all want us dumb,
Right.
our children to be dumb. You know what I mean? You want them to learn off TikTok and
Right.
everything. So it's really, if you look at the whole picture, sometimes it's just really downhill.
And Elon Musk companies get tens of millions of dollars in their contracts from the federal government. Cut those,
Yeah.
cut those budgets.
Yeah.
Cut that budget.
He's getting what, 8 million a day, something like that. Because of the contracts, the government contracts that he has.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he's greedy. I mean, you're talking about the richest man.
Right. Already the
What
richest.
was the point of having a little boy? I heard the mama didn't even approve that.
Mama was disgusting.
Like what you think that make you look like we don't feel no sympathy for you because you brought a little boy in there. Like, come on now.
And he had his little boy everywhere. I guess it's his sympathy card, but it's like,
And you heard the boy said to Donald Trump,
"You're not the president.
You're not the president.
You're not the president," and putting his boogers everywhere, all over. It was just crazy. It was just, yeah.
It was chaotic for me.
It was.
And then Trump took plastic paper straws away. I was like, what are we talking about?
What does this have to do with groceries? Exactly.
Talking about being homoerotic and all of this stuff, but
I'm just done.
Meanwhile, he.
I don't even buy straws. Like, I don't care.
Well, in a series of tweets, the U.S. Army shared that they will no longer allow transgender people to enlist and will stop providing gender-affirming care for service members. The U.S. Army, that's pretty much what they tweeted. Now, the announcement follows executive order signed by Trump on January 27th. The order directed the Pentagon to determine a policy for transgender service members within 30 days. Trump order states that expressing a gender identity inconsistent with an individual's sex conflicts with the soldier's commitment to be honorable, truthful, and disciplined lifestyle, even one's personal life. That those doing so cannot satisfy the rigorous standards necessary for military service. Listen, if someone wants to serve the country, I don't want to serve the country. So if they want to serve the country, I don't care what they do. But what are your thoughts? I'll throw it back to you. Shaq, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, what are you supposed to say to this? This is crazy. Like,
hey, listen, there are a lot of transgender people in the military.
I be like, ask somebody else.
There's a lot in the military, but there's like less than 1% of population.
Right. Of transgender people, period.
Yes. So why does it matter? I don't even know how to begin to speak about this, but I really don't. I think no one should care what trans people do. If they're like beyond the military, like why are we talking and focusing on trans people as if they have so many rights above other people? It just makes no sense for a low population of people that has fought for their rights to do whatever they want to do to their body. Whether you listen, I don't care if you agree with it or not. That is not even the focus. The focus is, are you that inhumane to sit up here and hate on what a person does that doesn't have anything to do with you, to say that, oh, this is a problem, the image, we need to make sure that people are aware that this is wrong, or we don't want this to influence our kids. Okay, what the hell else is influencing your damn kids? Let's be real. Y'all teaching these kids to be racist, and on both sides of the spectrum, because let me just be very transparent, Black community is highly transphobic as well. So what are we teaching our kids? You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel like this is not an issue. It is not a issue that should be focused on. I feel like, like you said, if whoever wants to serve this country, they should do it in full transparency. I don't think no one, trans people are hiding when they got to fill out all this damn paperwork and do all these things to be in the military. I don't think they're hiding who they are. They being upfront. They say, yes, I'm born this, but I am this, whatever. Like, let them serve their country. And I'm pretty sure the people are in there are doing it well, probably better than the heterosexual people or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. Let people do what they want to do. I'm sick of it. I don't feel like we getting away from the main issues when we focus on stuff like this because they're not going anywhere. And even if you don't agree with it, you'll continue to disagree with it, but at least you know that people here that you can coexist. You know what I mean? And it doesn't take away the rights for trans people. So I'm not
I
here
saw
for
they were interviewing a trans woman, and who'd been in the military 20 years, and she said it was a medic. When I'm going to save somebody, they don't care what I am. They just care that I got what I need, got
like
the medical.
it's crazy.
Brittany, what are your thoughts on this?
Okay, like I said, I need more clarity. So, is he saying that you can't be a man and look like a woman because you are identified? Like you can't be Bruce.
Well, they're gonna stop
like you
it
can't be Bruce
that are
Jenner,
trans. Period.
but you can be gay. You just can't look like another sex.
I guess so.
So you can be a gay person, but you can't look like. But then being trans, you're not disciplined enough. Is that what he's saying? Like,
I feel like you should ask him and see what he says.
Right.
That's what I'm trying.
I feel like you'd be able to answer
he and
that.
JD Vance want to wear the makeup every day. But go ahead.
Because even with all of the trans or the homosexuals or the whatever we're doing, it just feels like it's all a blurred line. Because let's say, for instance, okay, fine, I might identify something else, but that don't mean I dress like a woman every day. But then you got those that go full out Bruce Jenner and turn into Caitlyn Jenner, and they voted for him. So it'd be like,
right. I saw on TikTok trannies for Trump during the campaign.
World. Like, we are in muddy water here. We are in muddy water. So I can be gay and sleep with my crew.
I did.
That is the most ridiculous
thing
I've
ever heard.
What? But
that somebody made that up.
No, it was a bunch of them. They were all on a panel doing an interview while they were Trump supporters. But you know what? This is what happened. Caitlyn Jenner is a huge Trump supporter, and when Trump won, Caitlyn tweeted, "Congratulations, President Trump, well deserved," or something. And someone responded, "Based on his new laws, we have to call you Bruce again."
I saw that. Felt like that was
that's crazy. I don't. I'm before
I just feel like when you start doing the whole gender fluidity and the gay stuff and the I identify as this, it just gets muddy waters. And how are you going to just draw a fine line in it when it's already so fluid? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, the army or the military I believe they just acknowledged, because that if you during the don't ask, don't tell, all that if you were discharged from the military, they found you were gay, they discharged you, and you were unhonorably discharged. So you didn't get any of the benefits, any of the health, any of the VA benefits, all that kind of stuff. They just reenacted that people can now apply for their status update and for their benefits. They just did that end of last year. So now you're attacking another group of people. This administration is anyway. It just doesn't make any sense. My thing, if you want to serve this country, serve the country. I mean,
I'm not going for.
Yeah, I feel like this is all smoke and mirrors at the end of the day. Like it just honestly doesn't make sense because in my mind, I feel like, when you're thinking about, let's go after, the LGBTQ plus community, because if you really think about it, anything that headlines with gay, trans, anything, especially in the social media world, anything, engagement shoots through the roof. Like, I don't know what it is that people are just, they're drawn to that and they're just like really engaged and trying to figure out like, oh my God, who, this and the third. And I feel like that has to play on a distraction for the people, just to say, oh, we're just going to throw this out here, because it does not make sense that this would be a real, out of all the shit that's going on in the world.
Right.
You would think that the trans people are just heavily influencing everybody to just be like, oh, okay, like this strange, you
Mhm.
know,
It's
miracle. I mean,
everywhere and
magical
just
thing where
everything.
people are just doing it. No, first of all, they've been here. They ain't going nowhere. If anything, you know a lot more about the community and what they do now, so you should be more aware whether you're against it or not. Again, I keep saying that because whether you're for it or not, it does not matter because it's not a real focus on the real issues that are going on right now. So it's just a big distraction, and people fall for it all the time.
They do. Well, listen, we'll take a quick break. We come back, find out why Mike Tyson's denying claims that he had Parkinson's disease that were made by Jake Paul. And Wendy Williams reunites with her son after she made claims that he mishandled her money. Right back after this.